Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to the place to be on each and every Sunday night. Where tonight we're coming to you live and exclusive on Top Split TV from Virginia International Raceway for round 5 of season 20 of Sunday Night Lights. And tonight, your host once again, myself, Alex McKellar, is joined as always by the chaotic one himself, Mr. Corey Steinhauser. Corey, crazy track, crazy layout, lots of fun ahead of us, big night of racing.
That's exactly right, Alex. And we also have a crazy strength of field. It's the highest that we have seen it in a long time, 45-17. And we've even got some drivers returning that we haven't seen for a while. One namesake for sure is Mr. Sammy Toykala, formerly Smurfing Sammy J. It's good to see Sammy taken back to the track, Alex.
Yeah, 100%. Great to see Sammy back out there. Looking forward to seeing what the finished drivers got to offer here this week. A bit rusty potentially, but I guess we'll find out when push comes to shove, right?
Well, that's exactly right. And he's chosen to come back on what some people would argue is probably the most difficult skippy track of the season, the Grand West layout here of VIR, a very super technical track. And some say that it rivals the technicality of the Nürburgring Nordschleife.
Yeah, you could say that. I wouldn't be too far from disagreeing. A lot of undulations, a lot of off-camber, blind, cresting apexes, and a lot of technical elements to this track, which make it very rewarding, of course, if you get it right, but, very tough to do at the same time.
Indeed, it is, Alex. And it's just going to be, a little bit of a endurance race, I'm going to have to say, just trying to get around this track. And it's only going to be an 8-lap race, but the technicality of this track will definitely be taking a toll on these drivers, as I think we're just about to start everyone on their first flying laps. We've got just about everyone on track, I do believe, at the moment, Alex, besides one Sebastian Schultz, who seems to be in the pits.
Wow, that's very surprising. Seb Schultz, very, very fast around here. But you're right, he's in the pits, and it's a very long lap here, of course. So drivers will only get the opportunity for one flying lap. So they better make the most of it, and plenty of warm tyres as we see Lucetta now going through the early stages of his flying lap. Plenty of warm tyres are the order of the day around here to get that single flying lap right, Corey.
And they've got a lot of time to be able to do it on the warm-up lap to the qualifying lap here. But, one small mistake in this one and only lap that you get, and that is your entire qualifying run absolutely shot. I saw Pablo Espez had a little bit of a trouble in the early goings. He is also not going to be setting down the lap here, Alex, because he has put the car back into the pits. I'm actually having a look at the number 8 car of Mr. Håkon Grebstad. It's nice to see Håkon back on the track and in the new Speedy Snails livery to reignite the little bit of a battle that he used to have in the former Team Ovaltine with the Milo boys.
Yeah, 100%. Good to see Hawken back out there, still familiarising himself with the track somewhat, it has to be said. Also great to see Gael Kawabe. He's back for another run. Of course, he's been joining us a lot more on the skips recently. Car 17 just sneaking in fact, last car in the split, as you said, 4,500 strength of field. Tough race to get into, and Giles just snuck in there. We got Victor Knutson, the 15-plated car out there, all in black. I believe this is his first race in Sunday Night Lights as well, Corey.
And also, I do believe the 16 car of Dario Frattantini is a newcomer as well, Alex. So we've got a few guys that we don't generally see too much of. Looks like Dario possibly having a little bit of issue on his outlap, taking it back to the pits. But we also have the return of Timu Vascalampi as well. He's been making special little appearances here and there. It's good to see Timu back on track, Alex.
Yeah, good to see Timu out there. Vascalampi, of course, does the scoring here for us on a Sunday night, and has done for the last few seasons. And we do thank him for it. Very appreciative. Takes a bit of the workload off us here in the booth as the times start to come through. Ellenbrand, newcomer to Sunday Night Lights, has provisionally stuck it on pole, but the times are starting to come through. Cantor jumps straight into the top with a 54.2, 53.8 for Lucetta, his teammate. Sitting on top, Grebstad tucked in behind with a 54.1. Warm-up race serving him very well by the looks. Just trying to see, we've got Christian Perez out there as well. I'm just trying to see if he's actually on his warm-up lap, and I don't know that Perez, the most recent winner of the 2K Cup season, who is lightning fast around here, having raced him once earlier this afternoon, I'm not sure that he'll... there it is, a 53.7. He proved me wrong, didn't he? He's dominated that with he's just got just that less than a tenth quicker than Lucetta there, Corey.
Yeah, but that is still an incredible time, Alex, for a first lap. Absolutely flying along there, as I'm pretty sure everyone who is going to get a lap in has done so now. And we still have the balance of about 30 seconds left here in the qualifying, so everyone just out there now on the track still, just getting that little bit of extra track time, trying to learn the little nuances of this difficult track.
Yeah, we might just grab a look if I can. Is it going to show me? Yeah, let's empty that out and put this one up while we've got a few seconds. This is the current point standings after 4 rounds. You got Lucetta on top with 114. Anderson, Cantor, Chinchilla and Otero rounding out your top 5 in the Sunday Night Lights standings. I'm just trying to see Russell Clark 16th, Corey Leon in 10th, first of the Aussies, as we might now jump to our grid. Christian Perez from across competition, the Iberian driver taking out pole tonight, not surprisingly, although he's just pipped Manu Lucetta from Ivano Sim Racing there, just less than a tenth. Håkon Grebstad of Speedy Snails Racing making their debut tonight out of P3. Fourth off the grid, Lee Anderson, the Puce-powered machine for UK and Enzo Cantor from Ivano Sim Racing out of 5th tonight. Sammy Toykala put the warm-up race to good use. He's starting out of 6th for Team Milo here tonight. 7th off the grid, Antonio Ribalta from Iberia. 8th, Guile Kawabe from Japan. Great qualifying position for Guile. Klaus Ellenbrand from P9 tonight for his debut. Victor Knudsen similarly for his debut out of P10 tonight. Team of Vascalampi, the Finnish driver, out of 11th. Anthony Jones for Team Torpedo out of 12th tonight off the grid. 13th off the grid, Sebastian Schultz did not set a time. Pablo Espes similarly for R70 team out of P14. Team Milo bossman Russell Clark out of 15th. Dario Frattini Italy out of 16th. 17th Craig Biley, as the drivers now think about taking their starting positions. Corey, who's your money on tonight?
Oh, it's a hard choice for this one, Alex. I'm going to have to put my money on Mr. Big Breaks Lucetta. I reckon he's just got what it takes to navigate the way around this track and possibly take away the win.
Well, my money's on Perez. Like I said, took out the 2K Cup recently with Seb Schultz starting in 13th. We're kind of robbed of the three-way battle at the front, but let's see what Grebstad and Anderson can do. Cantor as well, as the red lights mean rev. Green lights mean go, and we're away for round 5 of season 21 of Sunday Night Lights. 9 laps around this big, booming, complicated complex of a track as they race down into the first turn here now. For the first time round, the horseshoe bend, really challenging to navigate on cold tyres. 2x2 they go. Clark nearly copped a touch in the rear there, but managed to get away okay, as did the rest of the field. Corey, we're off to a flyer.
That's right, Alison. It looks like everyone's single-filed out at the moment. So we have a stream of 17 skippies nose to tail, as we do have one around, and it is Mr. Russell Clark all the way at the back of the pack there. Not sure what happened. Looks like he might have just gotten a little bit unsettled on the cold tires. I don't see any damage on the car. So possibly just a little bit of nothing there. But for the most part, everyone getting through the first sector clearly.
Yeah, as they start going through the snake S's now. Very challenging fifth gear corner, fourth gear, sorry, this time round, as they head out of the back section now on the run up to Oak Tree. Very challenging. You're down through the gears as you let the car flow out to the outside left of the track to make that tight right hander on his. Oh, Perez, he's all over the track. Luqueta nowhere to go. Oh, I don't think that was blocking. I think that was more of Perez getting it under control. That's really cost him, as now it's a front pack of four trying to come into the first run of the hairpin out the back there, Corey.
What that has done, Alex, is that has allowed Hawk on Grebstad to take away the outside and challenge for the lead. Now, oh, there's contact between Perez and Grebstad. Perez must be suffering a little bit damage from the earlier contact with Luqueta, and that is now Perez all the way down the back of the pack. And Hawk on Grebstad up into P3 now, Alex.
Yeah, Grebstad looking to make a good run at it here. The speedy snail driver. We've got Anderson and Luqueta still up the front there, but again, robbed somewhat of the big battle up front with Perez and Luqueta. I'm just trying to spy where Seb Schultz has got to. He's actually down 2 positions out the back, so looks like he's going to struggle to make his way through this field, if at all. But the biggest race of the week, perhaps not suiting Schultz here tonight. We've got Luqueta and Anderson, though, out front. Luqueta, I'll tell you what, your money's looking pretty good, Corey.
Oh, I thought it was a pretty safe bet, and that just confirms it. But, you know, it's still a lot of race left to go here. As I said before, it's only 8 laps, but it's 8 long, intensive laps, Alex.
Yeah, it is 8 long, 8, oh, is it 8 or 9? I think it's 9. 7 to go as they cross the line. So, yeah, I'm going to say, oh, no, it's 8. Oh, your maths is better than mine, folks. Yeah, you're right. It is quite intense. A bit of fun out there as well. But down into the big braking zone, big brakes Luqueta. He's got a bit of a gap, almost half a second. And half a second in this game is still within draft, but it says if you're half a second behind at the end of a big straight into a heavy braking zone, really talks to the pace of the guy in front of you. Grebstad now, he's tucked right in behind Anderson and looking to both stay in touch and perhaps make himself a break to get away as well, Corey.
Well, that would be the hope, Alex, as you know, they're still all single file here. It's going to be hard to try and make moves on this particular layout. There's only 2 or 3 places where you can safely make a move, and this being one where you could think about it coming up into the Snake S's. But, you know, it's still, you know, it's all about just trying to position yourself mostly for the run up the main straight where you can get the best amount of draft, but just the attitude of the skippies as they hit those apexes that are on top of the crest coming into the Oak Tree corner now. You know, it's just so amazing to see how out of shape they look, but how in control it all still is, Alex.
Yeah, as the guys now, the tyres are starting to warm up. They're coming up the big back Madison Avenue straight now into the one of the few threshold braking zones here into turn 13 at the end of this big back straight. It is possible to make a passing move here, but these guys looking to secure this gap that they've got. It's about 8, 9 tenths. It's now out to a second as the guys behind Constantine are up and look to jockey for those positions. 1 second here, depending on how well they run through the technical sections here. Very tough section through the spiral now, 16, 17, 18. It's one of the 2 major blind cresting corners. First gear as they accelerate out of 18 now, up this short back straight into the second. Really treacherous. Blind apexing corners, lots of twists and turns there through to turn 20 and now to 21 and 22. Lovely when you get it right, but I tell you what, hearts in the mouth every time you go by, Corey.
Oh, that's exactly right, Alex. I tried doing some practice laps here, and everyone knows I'm not the best of skippy drivers, and that section every single time caught me out. I could not run it to save my life, and it's amazing to me to watch all these. Oh, there's contact in the back for the 4th and 5th positions there, and I'm not sure who that was. I think that was Ribalta and Toykala possibly.
I think it's Cantor. I'm going to go back and see if I can't see what happened. Oh, look out. Someone's locked up the rears. I think it's Ribalta, is it? The 11 car it was. Yeah, Ribalta. And he's just poleaxed Cantor off into the turf. Oh, man, that's not how to make friends and influence people right there, folks. Old Ribalta, he's just grabbed a fistful of rear brakes, and that was all she wrote for Cantor as well there, Corey.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. Looks like Cantor was on for a good run there. And also, while you were just going through the tail end of that replay, I had eyes on Sammy Toikala, and he was trying to do his best manual impression into turn 1 and ended up locking it up and sailing it off into the weeds. He's down into the 10th position right now, Alex.
Yeah, down 4 positions from where he started on the grid across. Jumping back up front, you got Grebstad putting all sorts of pressure over Anderson. Lucetta now in a breakaway trio. Really look like these guys are set for podium positions. Major incidents notwithstanding, as they kick it out there through South Bend on the run up now into Oak Tree through 11 into a beautiful section of corners when you get it right. Uphill braking zone, swing it round to the right, swing it round to the right again. Couple of gears between the two apexes and give it a welly full as you come out past the Oak Tree. And if you're brave, you might even kiss the tyres on the apex on the way through, but you've got to be brave, Corey.
Oh, you do indeed, Alex, and it's probably one of the more difficult corners to try and set up, just because the tightness of the actual Oak Tree corner there can really catch you out if you're unaware. And it's definitely a corner that's caught me out a few times in all the different cars that we've raced around here over the years. But it's good to see Lucetta in control of this race. This is actually the track where we dubbed him the Big Breaks. Way back when, 3 or 4 seasons ago. So it's really good to see him out front, just nice and controlled and calm. These guys at the front not racing too terribly hard, although I say that, and Lucetta completely sideways through these back S sections. And it's just a nice race right now for these 3 at the front, Alex, and I don't think they're going to be trying to battle anytime soon.
No, I mean, if I was Anderson and Grebstad, I'd be sticking on the coattails of Lucetta as long as I could, right? But I'll tell you what, I'm watching Perez. Christian Perez is back up to 6th position and charging pretty hard. Lap times aren't great yet, but he's having to work hard with traffic, I would have thought. I expect, I reckon he's on for 4th place. Probably won't catch the leading pack. But he's got the pace to get up to 4th, I reckon. He's only a couple of seconds just shy of Ellenbrand in the debutant in P4, and I reckon he's a good shot at catching him. This field somewhat strung out like Brown's cows at the moment. We've got a bit of battle coming into turn 1. 3 wide they go. I think it's tired. Vascalampi and Frattini having a side-by-side battle now. Knutson's tucked in behind them there. Look at these 3 going side by side again through through NASCAR Bend now into the left hook, next corner, still side by side, a little bit of contact there, I think, wheel to wheel neck out. Oh, that's got to end in tears. No, they get it done. Frattini and Vascalampi once again get it done, but that's bringing the cars in behind them. Schultz and Toikala right into play. Oh, a bit of a nose cone flying off there somewhere. They're still side by side. They go up through the snake S's this time around. Surely not. Someone's got to back out. There it is. There's the big one. It was always going to happen. The 16 and the 10 car. Oh, that's a send of flowers to the loved ones moment there for Vascalampi. He's gone. But I think we could see that one coming, Corey.
Oh, yeah, definitely, Alex. And it's actually kind of symbolic that the 16 car running a Ferrari livery there. That's very indicative of a Ferrari season this year. But Vascalampi, that was one incredible series of rollovers. He's definitely going to be a little bit shaken up after that one. But back up towards the front, and Christian Perez actually down in 8th now, Alex. Looks like he's lost some positions here. I'm not sure what happened to Perez, but somehow, some way, lost a couple of positions here to Ellenbrand and Espes.
I think it's Vescalampi and Fertitti. They're in the pits, and that's they've towed, and that's bumped them up to the top of the order. It's just a fault with the timing. GGI Racing, GG, but we still got Lucetta, who's leading the race, currently reporting as third, but that puts Perez still in sixth position, chasing down Espes, who's of course taken out a Sunday Night Lights event this season and looking to make more of it. Tonight, not going to be his night, sitting currently in fifth on corrected times. But certainly looking to do what he can to stay in touch with Ellenbrand, the debutant here tonight. But Lucetta and Anderson, along with Grebstad, probably out of reach for those guys, Corey.
Oh, I would have to imagine so. And what a debut it has been for Ellenbrand here. We don't know his racing history here on IO Racing, but he's definitely shown up and shown why he is a top strip driver tonight. Comes in as the sixth plated car, which is also no mean feat. And, they actually look like they're closing the gap here ever so slightly to the front runners, but it could just be a little bit of a visual anomaly on my end here, Alex.
Potentially, they're running about the same lap times as the leaders, though. Ellenbrand and Lucetta split only by about 9/100ths. But the pace is not on quite yet. The quality times were a bit down. They're about half a second or so down, I would say, if not a little bit more. And as a result, we're only seeing 2-minute 53 laps as the fastest lap for Lucetta in clean air up front, setting the pace with the other two of Anderson and Grebstad riding the coattails at the moment comfortably, with the balance now of 4 laps remaining, 3.5 to go as they head through the Snake S section once again. Really fast sweeping section. The climbing S is now back around through South Bend, down to 11 and 12 of Oak Tree again. This has rapidly become my favourite part of the circuit here. Oh, look at that. Kiss that outside ripple strip. Don't want to touch it too much. Oh, and you can bottom out there and lose all sorts of speed as Anderson straddles the exit curbing there past Oak Tree, and didn't cost him too much, but might come under threat from Grebstad, although Grebstad might just be biding his time for the last couple of laps, Corey.
Well, Grebstad is a very patient driver. Back when he did run more regularly, we used to see him just sneaking in through the back of the pack and waiting for the drama to unfold ahead of him. This is the highest that we've seen him for a while, sitting there in the third position. So he might just be consolidating the third place, although the pace these guys are running at the front here is incredible. The margins are almost nothing between them in all these tight little twisty sections. And it's definitely an incredible little sight to behold here, seeing these three driving so close and so on edge, but so controlled. And I reckon Hawkon might have something for Anderson late in the race, but I'm not sure whether he'd be able to get anything on Big Breaks Lucetta.
Yeah, well, he's tucked in there nicely. The gap's sitting pretty comfortably. Anything under half a second in these nosed... Oh, he just blinked out. I wondered if he'd picked up one too many incident points. Anything inside half a second around this sort of circuit, and you've got the pace to sit comfortably in the draft. Half a second or over means you're just sort of hanging on, so to speak. And Grebstad comfortably sitting in that draft there, yeah. But interesting to see if those guys have got anything to offer Big Breaks in the last few laps. We've got Ellenbrand now, Espes and Perez. He's tucked. Oh, he's almost in the draft there. I gave him more credit than perhaps he'd earned here so far tonight. I thought he was odds on for P4, but Ellenbrand and Espes really showing their class to stay ahead of the current 2K Cup champion. Although he's still just over 1.3 seconds behind and not really bridging that gap, Corey, although it looks a bit racy in front of him there.
Well, one thing I can guarantee you, Alex, is Perez has been absolutely pushing every single lap. According to my timing software here, he has not got one single clean lap in. Every single lap has had an off track of some kind. And his last lap unofficially was a 52.9, which is 0.2 faster than Espes, as Espes just pulled out of the way for Perez there. But, it's just incredible that he's pushing so hard that he hasn't had a single official lap put on the board yet. And we're nearly 7 laps into this race, Alex.
Yeah, I can only pick Espes as picking up a slowdown there, because not only did he let Perez just sail by, he's struggling to hold on there. Fastest lap of the race, last lap went to Håkan Grebstad with a 52.5, sitting in draft there. 52.6 was Luqueta as the pace starts to get on. These temps and pressures right up now in the tyres, side by side. Now Anderson making his presence known into the hairpin at the back at 13, exiting in 14 now. Now again, not somewhere you want to overtake here. You don't want to go side by side through 16, this blind cresting line astern. They go back through 17 and now through 18. Really challenging section there. The most challenging section coming up though, 19 and 20, over the crest. Kiss the curb if you're brave. Kiss the inside. Curbs all over here. Plenty of them that you can't touch, but there's a few around here in this section that you can. Now, Corey, I'll tell you, this is one of the few tracks where guys will be seriously and almost as a compulsory thing changing their setups here, raising the spring perch offset just to get the car enough clearance around some of these curves, because get quick around here, you need to ride them and ride them quite a bit.
Well, that's exactly right, Alex, and we're seeing that happening a lot. And the downside to that is, you're not going to be as fast in the straightaways because you're a little bit higher off the ground, but you're also stopping yourself from getting wing damage. Because if you don't have your spring perch offset set just right, every time you go over those big curves, you start to bend up your front wing, and it loses you front end grip, and it also loses you a little bit of top end speed. So, these guys, you can tell that they've messed around with their setups, as we see a big dive from Anderson on Luqueta, lock up as well into turn one, and big brakes. Luqueta managing to hold on to the lead, but wow, what a move that was for Anderson. He came from at least a skippy length back to try and pull that one off, Alex.
Yeah, great defence, but the big brakes holding out at this point now as they come through left hook. Back through 5A now into the snake. You're flat from the preceding left-hand corner. So this whole section here, although there are kinks and bends here, you are flat out in here, and it does actually form the longest straight running section, or the longest flat out section on the track. And the draft as a result here is remarkable, and guys in Anderson and Grebstad will be lifting through there as they head now through South Bend. On the run down into 11 and Oak Tree once more. Oh, beautiful run there from Luqueta. Does that save him getting draft passed into the end of the Madison Avenue straight now? The hairpin at the end at 13 here is a really good passing opportunity. As we said, it's one of the few threshold braking zones, that and turn one. And Luqueta with that beautiful run through South Bend, really setting himself up to be almost safe into the braking zone here, Corey.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Alex. And he's showing just how to perfectly defend. He's not opening too many doors for Lee to try and get into here. And he's also closing them off where it is needed. Coming out of Oak Tree there, you saw he was right over on the right side of the track. That was to cover off any kind of a move from Lee Anderson on the inside. But as you can see, through these tight, twisty sections, he doesn't need to defend as much. And there is a couple of areas where he'd have to think about taking a slightly shallower line, like just through there. And, he's not going to be trying to defend so much on the front straight, I don't think, because it's a slightly shorter straightaway than the back straight there, Alex.
Yeah, and Perez now has made the move. He's got Ellen Brown, the debutante, and he's made his way up to that P4. I'll tell you what, Alex Nostradamus McKellar, they call me, but he's managed to get through. Meanwhile, at the front, and I saw the gap slightly widening, more between 1 and 2 than it was between 2 and 3, and it's starting to get me worrying as Anderson clips the inside of the downhill section through the roller coaster. Through 28 there at Hogpen. I'm worried that he's starting to look behind him in his mirrors more than he is in front, Corey.
It's very possible, Alex, that he might have gotten a little bit too sideways on one of the curves in the final S's section there. But, he's going to have to try and make up for that, because this is the last lap of the race. This is going to be his last opportunity to try and find a way around Luqueta. But I don't think that it's going to be an easy task at all, Alex, because Lucetta is not big brakes for nothing.
Oh, and he's turned up the wick in clear air there. He was full 4/10 faster than Anderson that last lap and set the fastest lap of the race with a 52.1. Really setting the standard out there is Lucetta. This time, though, through the Snake S's, you've got Anderson right on his tail. No passing through here, though, as we saw earlier on, as Anderson just somewhat timidly shows the nose there as they're up through, up through the climbing S's now. On the run to South Bend for the final time. This is the white last lap, folks. Better run there through for Anderson this time round. No passing opportunity through to Oak Tree, but it's the all-important exit. This time much closer is Anderson. Beautiful apex there, and he's really right on top. What are these three going to do from here? Let's see. Let's hop on board with Grebstad and see what he's got, Corey.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see. It looks like they're all just sitting down there on the inside line at the moment. It doesn't look like Anderson is going to make a move, although he does pull out sideways. And now here comes Grebstad to the inside. Oh, there's contact between Grebstad and Lucetta. Lucetta now without a rear wing. He's going to be struggling for the rest of this lap, Alex.
Yeah, not again. Oh, this is going to be big time. Oh, I'll tell you what, Anderson's going to have a look up the inside there. That is, incredible. He's hung on to it. Lucetta with no rear wing has hung on to it through one of the most difficult sections at 16, 17, 18. Now up through 19 and 20, the other very challenging section it is, and he's got it on a string. Lucetta. Oh, what are you got to do to get this bloke unravelling? The car's unravelling, and he's still driving away with it. I don't know. We'll have to go and have a look at the replay, but I don't think Anderson had any damage through that, but or contact, and yet it's still Lucetta driving away from it. It took all those laps for these three to really have a go, and it came all unstuck at the end there. But it is the final corners now through the hog pen for Lucetta, and it's going to be Lucetta with quite a remarkable finish to this one, folks. No rear wing, a little bit of damage, bruised egos, no sir. It's going to be Lucetta. Lucetta cementing his place at the top of the standings and also at the top of the official series as he blows the engine in celebration there, Corey.
Well, he will be absolutely wrapped with that one, Alex, especially after that contact with Grebstad as everyone else starts joining in the party of either spinning the car off in multiple directions or blowing up their engines. But it's just a nice, cool, calm and collected race by Lucetta that entire time. We didn't see him put a foot wrong the entire race, Alex. The only time that there was a blip in the armor was when it was caused by someone else. So he should be absolutely wrapped with that win. And hopefully, maybe we can get him in for a little bit of a chat here today.
Yeah, I'm just going to try and we'll watch this final lap here on board, or at least get a bit better of an angle. I haven't really got a mark where I can go back and grab the big incident. I just want to see if we can't find out exactly what happened into that hairpin there. It was all fun and games, and then realistically, these guys had ridden those coattails as we suggested throughout, and then it was really in that big braking zone in the final stages that it really all came to pass, Corey. But we're just waiting for him to come up, and you can see Anderson really got a fantastic run through this South Bend section once again. He closed right up. They were nose to tail throughout. Grebstad licking his lips at the opportunity of using that big rubber band that is the Skippy draft. But let's see what unfolded here. Might see if I can grab a tighter angle if at all possible. And then as they run up the big back straight there, let's see what happens here in the braking zone. Grebstad moves to the inside. He's got nowhere to go. Anderson on the outside there. Just looks like he might have outbraked himself a little bit into the rear. Anderson then forced to take evasive action. Incredible that Lucetta hung on to it as the rear of that Skippy just exits stage left, and then they drive away, Corey, and the rest is, as they say, history.
Indeed, it is, Alex. But my theory is with Hawkon making such a late move there and having the overspeed from the 2-car draft, I reckon he's just gotten in a little bit deep there. With the car being unsettled, it affects the braking performance a little bit. But, good job for Manu to hold it together for the rest of that lap. And, especially through the most technical section of the track with no rear wing. That would take a lot out of a driver, especially after you've gone around there 7 times previously.
Yeah, unbelievable effort from Lucchetta. Fantastic drive in the end. But let's go take a look at our results and see how they finished up tonight. Round 5 of season 21 of Sunday Night Lights from Virginia International Raceway. Manu, big breaks, Lucchetta for Movano Sim Racing. Took it out in spectacular fashion in the end, led pretty much the whole way, and even survived a late onslaught and some damage to take it home. Lee Anderson in the Puce-powered machine from UK&I, finishing in second. Hawkon Grebstad for Speedy Snails. First podium for the new Speedy Snails team there tonight. Grebstad perhaps lucky to get away with it as well. Christian Perez, the recent 2K Cup champion for cross competition, taking out P4 after his early exit. Great recovery drive from Perez. Klaus Ellenbrand making his debut tonight, finishing in the top 5. Congrats to Klaus. Pablo Espes hanging on for Team R70 into position 6 tonight. Position 7 went to Victor Knudsen, again, another one making his debut. P8 tonight went to Anthony Jones for Team Torpedo. Great to see Mr. Jones out there. Sebastian Schultz returning tonight to Sunday Night Lights, only to grab P9 after not qualifying well. It's a shame we didn't get to see more of him up the front, perhaps in weeks to come. P10 tonight went to Team Bossman for Team Milo. Russell Clark, Gail Kawabe from Japan, making his return to Sunday Night Lights in P11 tonight. Final of the point scoring positions for the Movano Sim Racing, Enzo Cantu, who copped a sensational hip and shoulder in the early stages. Still managed to score some SNL points. 14th tonight went to Dario Fertitti, although I've missed 13th, which was Antonio Ribalta, who was the slayer of Cantor there tonight. Team of Ascalampi returns to Sunday Night Lights, the Finnish driver in 15th. His Finnish compatriot and good mate Sami Toikala in 16th for Team Milo. And Craig Biley, the ANZ driver, in 17th, rounds out our field, Corey.
Well, it was an incredible race, Alex, all the way through, start to finish. Not as much action as we've come accustomed seeing in the past couple of weeks with the drafty tracks that we've been on, but the technical nature of this Virginia International Raceway definitely brought out some of the top action, especially towards the end there. And I know that there's going to be at least one very happy person sitting there in the green room waiting to get dragged up. So I think we should probably start getting to those interviews.
Yeah, as soon as I can see if I can get this replay going. Oh, heavens above, please give me the replay. Don't. There we go. All right, let's do that. And let's grab, in finishing order, we'll bring up Mr. Hawkon Grebstad. Hawkon, that was some kind of race you had out there, mate. A little bit of a boo-boo into the braking zone when the heat was on, but P3, nothing to sneeze at, mate.
Yeah, no, very happy with P3. Definitely a little boo-boo in the last lap. Lucchetta braked a little earlier than I thought he would, but looking at it, he was fine. It was on me for sure. But yeah, happy just to be able to keep up with the boys.
Yeah, really good effort there, I have to say. Of course, not many laps around here for you up until tonight, and to hang with those boys, very impressive indeed. And first night out for the Speedy Snails team here tonight, and representing famously there Mr. Grebstad, and one for the boys for sure, eh?
Yes, sir. I'm not sure the paint was working correctly, but we'll figure that out sometime.
Well, these gremlins come with new teams and new liveries, but I'm sure, no doubt, give it a few more tries and you'll be out there looking stellar as usual. But congratulations. Fantastic drive, mate. Just sitting in there, like I said, I was pretty impressed that you were able to hang with those big boys up there, given the amount of laps you have or haven't done in this case. So congratulations on that. Anybody you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Well, you guys for throwing this up every weekend. It's a really fun thing, and yeah, thanks for doing it.
Beautiful, thanks Hawkon, and hopefully we'll see you back and maybe one or two steps up on the podium in the coming weeks.
Maybe we'll see.
Thanks, mate.
Nordschleifer.
Well, sorry I cut you off there, mate. Nordschleifer.
Yeah, maybe at Nordschleifer. We'll see.
Yeah, nice one. All right, mate. We'll talk to you soon.
Take care.
Corey, Hawkon Grebstad back for another week. Decent drive, it has to be said. Nothing to sneeze at a podium around here in this company.
Yeah, especially not with how technical of a track this was, and the fact that he only put 1 foot wrong this entire race, and it was on the last lap in the most difficult braking zone of the lap. So, it was a good job by Hawk on the entire race just to stay with Lucetta and Anderson. And, when we see him again, he's teasing Nordschleifer for his return again. It should be another absolute classic display from the one that we know as Mr. Hawkon Grebstad.
Yeah, that's it. All right, let's grab our next gentleman in the booth now. We've got the great Enzo Cantor. Enzo, not the race you were looking for here tonight, but certainly a challenging track out there and an unfortunate result for yourself, but hopefully, nothing wasted because it's a bit of fun at least.
Hi guys. Well, I'm disappointed. You can understand. I was in doubt for the race till the last moment because I did not have any time to practice this week. Only one day in free practice, so I tried to do some laps. I was hot enough to try the race. And well, I have to say I did a very good qualifying without any practice. So I missed the T1 and I lost about 2/10, so I could start in the third positions. But well, I was a little bit out of pace, but I was very safe and patient because I didn't know really where they break in the corners because it was my first race in this week. So I was a little bit. There was a little bit of gap, but I was still in the draft, so I will. I was sure I could catch them in the next T1 corner in lap 3, and then suddenly Antonio killed me because he put one tire over the grass. So I thought it was a dive bombing, but it was a mistake. So well, no problem. He apologizes, so no problem. And then I have to say congratulations to my teammate because he is very strong. I would fight with him till the end of the race, but I was unlucky, and it was more lucky than me, but very strong enough to be in front. He has the fastest lap of the race, so he deserved the victory and he deserves the first position in the championship standings.
Yeah, he did pretty well. He lost the rear wing in the last hairpin as well, and drove a better part of a third of a lap without a rear wing, and still managed to drive away with it. Fantastic drive up there from Lucetta. He also did the fastest lap undrafted, so pretty impressed with that steer. But for yourself, Enzo, I'm sure there's bigger and better things to come, and hopefully better results in the remaining weeks of the season. But before we let you go, anyone you'd like to give out a shout out to?
Yeah, thank you. I have to say thanks to my team, Transmaster. No, Miosi Racing team. Sorry, my team manager Fabio Mantellini, my teammates all, and you as always. And well, I will fight for the championship till the last race. So I will continue to try to beat my fast teammate till the last race. So you have to expect me fighting every week.
Beautiful. Thanks, Enzo. We look forward to that, and have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.
You too. See ya, guys.
Yeah, Corey, that was the great man himself, Mr. Enzo Canada. Always good for a chat, of course, and never shy of or never far away from the action on track either.
Well, that's exactly right. Enzo is a hard, aggressive driver, and we're usually seeing him mixing it up towards the front. Obviously, that interview could have also gone a completely different direction to the way it did. But it's good to see that himself and the car that he got tangled up with, um, came to peace with what happened out there on track. They share no bad blood with each other, and Enzo still come around with some SNL points, finishing in the 12th position. So wins all around there, even though it wasn't really a win.
Yeah, that's right. I think I'm just trying to spot him in the orders. Yeah, lost a few I rating there. I'm just watching Perez. He had a bit of a nudge with Grebstad through that hairpin on lap 1 by the looks, or at least in the early stages of the race. And he's all the way down in what looks to be, what's that, fourth last. So he was in 13th position, 14th position, and he's got all the way back up to 4th through this field on this track. That's a pretty impressive drive, wouldn't you say?
Oh, definitely, Alex. And it just goes to speak for the pace that Perez has had here at this track. You said yourself, he has been one of the pace setters this entire week. And that performance after he got spat off towards the back, working all the way back up to 4th, is incredible. And he should be absolutely wrapped with the way he was able to finish that off.
Yeah, most impressive thing for me, having done a race with him this week, was his pace through the most technical sections, and that's where he found all the gap and the speed over other drivers. Really, really impressive, and certainly one to watch in the seasons to come. But folks, that might do us here for this week. Corey, tell the folks at home what's coming up for you.
All right, so on Wednesday over at the Aussie Sim Commentator channel, twitch.tv/Aussie_Sim_commentator, we have race number 2 of round 3 of the Output Racing League playoffs. I'm not completely sure on the track. I think it's Martinsville, and I think I'm not going to like it because it's going to be absolute chaos and mayhem. But apart from that, on Thursday night, we have a question mark over the Fastlane Esports Spring Series. Mysteriously, last week they decided to can the event last minute, and we don't know what's going on. We still don't know what's going on. So that's a possibility. Friday morning, as long as I wake up in time, we will have the NASCAR iRacing Series as well. And that should be a good race. I had a good run at Kansas on Saturday afternoon because I slept in on the Friday morning, which is my bad. Saturday morning, I've got the US ANZ Racing League Series, which I will actually be racing in, not commentating on for once. And on Sunday, before I come and join you here, Alex, I will be having a race in the morning for the Outsiders Racing League.
Yeah, nice one. And of course, folks, everything Top Splitters on your screen at the moment, where you can find Corey and I here on Twitch, but also join us in the Discord channel where we do the broadcast from, and the post-race interviews. Of course, this race and all the others will be up on the Top Split YouTube channel, where we keep the history of SNL and MNL sacred for all time. And a bit of fun as always, of course. But folks, that'll do us for this week. Thank you for joining us on track and off. Of course, this race is for the community, by the community, and we wouldn't have it any other way. So, folks, until next time, on behalf of the chaotic one himself, Mr. Corey Steinhaus, I've been Alex McKellar, your host, and until next time, I shall say ciao for now.